Only Surfer missing 2 grenades. And Remax, they're playing one more bonus round. I mean, they're even now up to nearly 6k on David P, 3k on Devil, 4k on Haji. So they build up some economy in the last 3 rounds. Let's see, is Sprout able to win this round? Because still, it's somewhat of a bonus round. They still have an MP9 on Jinx, but also 2 AKs they got last round.
I mean to come at you while we have a little bit of the calm of the storm. Sprout is the team that comes back and bounces back massively. We have seen it happening in 2019 very often. For example, against AGO, done that twice on 2 maps. And 4 versus 5s also seems to be the special kind of perk Sprout is able to win. So obtaining such rounds, obtaining such situations, bouncing back, it is very, very much possible.
And they have now the man advantage, so normally you're looking at a win percentage of 70% of this round for Sprout after getting an entry kill. And they seem to prepare maybe a B split as a fake, because Dennis is still waiting in front of A long. It's a little bit strange, but it looks like it's going to be just a fake. Molotov coming in, but Haji, he can see everything. He can tell it's just a fake.
No, but they don't know about tunnels necessarily, so as Macazin now rotated over, Sprout got to capitalize on this quite fast. This is very good to some degree. I mean, if they get the double smoke setup, they can't. Just one smoke they have in their hands, but I mean, isolate yourself from Macazin and you can cross on the A side any time of the day. But it's 15. It's coming down, and that clock is not ticking in favor of Sprout at all. Can they cross? The bomb to be put on the side, Spitty will make it. And that was a 5-second timer on top. They still have the pressure. They still have the time to retake that A bomb site. But reasonable decisions have been made. And I mean, if this was not calm, collected, and at the same time a total mess, then I don't know. The take of Sprout going over long, having one smoke, not 2 you would usually have, and then still making on the side planting when there is 1 second left.
Yeah, but
it's amazing.
Yeah, but also you only need 1 smoke. You only need a deep city smoke when you have 2 people coming in from short, because therefore no one can be standing in front of the smoke. Otherwise, their teammates would see them coming in from short. So just beautifully played. Late in this round, a B split fake. They fall for it. They rotate towards city spawn. They leave A open, which also makes sense. I mean, if you're down 1 player, you need to take a little gamble as a CT. So it's way too risky to say let's only 1 get into city spawn and 1 stay on the A side by himself, guarding A short and long. So quite a nice approach. Therefore, Sprout winning the round. And this could be already their chance to somewhat break the economy of 3D Max. But
yeah,
let's see.
somewhat.
I mean, free AUX, that's a new meta once more.
It's a classic for now, but Searson being eliminated, I think we have learned something throughout the course of the UML. I'm not quite sure why I say it the entire time, over and over again, but I mean, it is the most basic rule. Nevertheless, 4 players still alive. And Sprout need to figure a way to get on any of those bomb sites, get the bomb down, and first of all, though, kill a good bunch of Frenchmen.
And then this one's more trying to get some attention towards long. We can see they're even rotating, so there's a chance for a contact play. Speedy finds the first kill on the A side. It would open up the round, but Maka, he's such a nice off angle. Speedy not really expecting him to stand there. Now this all depends on Dennis.
It pretty much does. But, I mean, I would even say it's more dependent on Faven. The man who's back there in shorts could try to make some noise, but eliminated. And Merbert falls as well. Sprout not in the best shape at the moment, as they don't seem to be on the right track yet. Have to figure a way to improve, because we're just not too much in, of course. But this is one more round where they invest everything into it.
Yeah, and this could mean once more full eco for Sprout if they lose this round. Merbert trying to get some B attention, using only on some utility, maybe to fake some fast B hit. Of course, some people could say, well, why is he using so much utility without really going for a B hit, or his teammates somehow capitalizing, but maybe just preparing some B aggression for that in case, if they want to rush B, they don't instantly just rotate everyone towards the B side if they see one flash and some Molotovs coming. And once more, it should be a mid take. This could be even a B split.
And as you say, that could be the B split, but before it work out in the end, as David P just pushes through the smoke, a reckless move that though pays off to some degree. And only 2 individuals guarding that site, and those 2 really need to be coming up with the best shots and the best accuracy. Jinx finally taken out, but they still got one opponent towards Car. But don't worry, he's dead. And that bomb will be brought to the ground. Maka's op is in this time not so useful. They technically would have the money to do it. They would, yep. But if it's reasonable, if it makes sense to really go for a now well-fortified B site where every single choke point has a weapon pointing in that direction, it wouldn't make sense to me. And that's exactly where they really rather stop. Maybe find an exit frag in case they want to exit over there on CT. But that's not happening. And Searson not happy with the trade. He's like, they gotta take this. But yes, he does. And so they leave over tunnels, bring it home. And this is brilliant. It's a tiny detail, but it's brilliant.
Well, I mean, not too brilliant, yeah.
Yeah.
Haji probably expected that he wouldn't die there. He was so confident to just stand there at the truck. And, well, he gets one more kill, but he also loses AK, his Kevlar, his utility, so I'm not quite sure if this was the right call from Haji. Of course, it's some damage to the economy of Sprout, where he knows Sprout doesn't have too much money, but still, it's maybe a trade not worth it. And for the Max, they're going for long control. Molotov instantly denying any push out of long. And Maka, that's so quick and precise. Finds the head of Dennis, who just wanted to make sure that no one is pushing. And that's a nice switch up from Free Max. I mean, they're not playing too passive. They're always trying to make something happen. Therefore, just Maka taking control, finding the first entry kill. But once more, the B split coming in.
I mean, we can discuss that right after the round. But first of all, that's a brutal aggression coming in, and a double op setup. It might pay off. Devil, 1% shots! How did he even get the one on Searson? It looked like that was totally off, but no, it worked out in the end. And the man who did not find a frag yet could now just set his first one here in the game. Not happening. And you know what? I think this is something where you might agree with me, but it feels Freddy Max are playing extremely unpredictable. And for a team like Sprout, that might be just the issue. That might be just the issue, because Sprout is not that casual in many situations. As though we know Searson is an aggressive operator and things like that, but nevertheless, they mostly got a quite well-set game plan.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right, and and look at how they baited out Searson. One guy's just jumping in middle. Maka finds the next one.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, those ops, they're just too much for Sprout at the moment.
It's such good Counter-Strike. And it feels like right now, one player after another turns belly up from the Sprout side of things. I miss the explosive Sprout, very honestly. I think this could be something that could be working. We remember the explosive Sprout just goes full-on dual facing over and over and over again. While Sprout in many situations seems a little isolated in their place.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, they need to take a huge gamble in a 3v4. Or they can, and then that's what they're doing. Dennis trying to get maybe a kill on the A side, trying to fake an A split, but it takes a little bit too much time. Oh, and Maka. This could be a trap.
At the time, but no. Oh, there it comes. No, this is unbelievable. He can't trade him. He knows where the player is. And Murbit's like, okay, seems like a fun situation. Where to go? As his options are coming down to 2 narrow pathways, but he says, screw it, I'm just going to the B site. What do I got to lose? And, well, he got his head to lose. Sprout seems also very headless at the moment. No options, no game plan, no real idea how to approach 3D Max. As though we have to say those explosive plays, for example, that one really, trivial but at the same time magnificent B push that was working in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's just pretty Max playing very aggressive. Sprout somewhat not expecting it when we just saw his setup. There was just some little communication issue where you saw Murbit holding the right angle, but Faven staying a little bit too wide in the open, and Murbit not being aware that his teammate, well, is not being covered. But if I remember correctly, I mean, Sprout never was too good on a T side on Dust 2, so there's still hope for them. I think if they're able to get 6 rounds on a T side, you could still see Sprout maybe dominate VMAX in the second half.
It's devastating, isn't it? And you know the worst, but you're talking about a second half, but Sprout is far more of a T-sided team on Dust 2. And I'm not talking about 51 to 49, I'm talking about 67% of the rounds won throughout 9 matches have been just done on the T sides. And that's devastating. The forecast does not look that shiny.
And maybe in this round we'll see some sun for Sprout. Some sunshine.
I mean, Sproutlings need that. To grow. A little bit of water, a little bit of love. 3D Max is sending love in big round balls filled with explosive materials inside. And that feat has been seen. And Speedy is tagged. This is an early round. Not even early, we're somewhat mid in it. And Sprout, they can't get a hang of it. Not at all.
And even you mentioned Sprout being a T-sided team on Dust 2. The last time they played against 3D Max, they won 16-3 on Dust 2, and they got 12 rounds on a T side. 12 rounds.
That's very obviously a difference to this one. Not sure if we need to discuss that, but with Sprout now standing in front of the gates of A, waiting to pass over short and get that plant down. But the first obstacle is called Mackeson. And he's trying to lock down that position, especially as David had a brilliant timing, though Dennis holds the control. And there they come. Maka rotates back, holds a bit of an off angle, can find the first, and that bomb is down. And I'm not quite sure, is it on short? Yes, it is. They still got a player tower. Goose is 15 more seconds, and the leeway, the entire room to breathe is getting low as Hachi stays back on site, and it's more and more frags happening. Maka is getting the upper in the end, and that means good night, Sprouts. The half belongs to 3D Max, and that just after a bunch of rounds. Yeah. Way too early and way too good.
I'm just a little bit disappointed by Sprout with their short take. I mean, they played it really well until they got the short control, so it took a lot of time. We saw how Sprout is not really feeling too comfortable on this 200 T side because they just witnessed 3D Max always going for some crazy push towards the B side, towards A long. That is even only a very passive angle towards long because he was maybe afraid of facing Maka once more with AWP. And even he gets a kill, they know it's probably only 2 guys on the A side, and they took so much time to get short control, and then they didn't use too much utility. So I would expect maybe some smoke, some Molotov, some flashes, because Maka didn't play some crazy magical angle. It's a position most operas play. So just a little bit strange that Sprout didn't prepare anything for a proper A short take, it seemed like. Maybe some grenades were missing, I'm not quite sure yet.
I mean, what I really want to put emphasis on is a little bit the weird sort of side that Dennis holds that long angle for so long. And it's not about holding this angle, but Dennis doing it. Dennis being more likely an entry fragger, if you ask me, on the Sprout side of things. Forever. I mean, I think that hardly changed. Always had high impact. Why not put Murbit there? That might be just me reading this wrong entirely, but we know from Murbit, he always tends to be the guy who's a little bit off the mass, who just plays some weird, different angle to hold up the players, to not give them too much room to breathe. And Dennis, on the other side, definitely being this very Fragger entry-like player.
Yeah, I mean...
It's not game-changing, but, I mean, it's a detail.
That's an important detail because, I mean, especially, I think Murbit is a strong player, but he's not feeling it today. I think he's still at 0 kills. We could take a quick look on the scoreboard. Yeah.
Unfortunately, he is.
And so if you have a player who doesn't feel it, maybe just let him take control of it long. Let's just him wait there. But I think it's probably due to their standard default. That Murbit is always the one guy throwing some nades towards the B side and then coming through lower dungeon up to short. So maybe those protocols are already set and there's not too much room to change those things. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Maybe Dennis needs to take a little bit more the lead in opening up those rounds.
Very true. I mean, besides Faven, of course. He's the highest rated player.
And there we go.
Just about that. You mentioned it, and here we go. Instant aggression coming down, and Dennis gets another, maybe a third. It's Searson snatching that one away, but it doesn't change the matter of fact that B-side is now in the hands of the German team. Sprout with a technical break, actually. But instantly, they seem to bounce back. And Haji doing the only right thing, standing behind the Renault. I still don't know which Renault it is. I think R5, I'm not quite sure. But nevertheless, that's not the most important factor right here. The most important factor is that Sprout found a way to bounce back, but you really gotta hope that this is not one of those one-time bounce backs we had so far from Sprout.
Yeah, but it's just so funny to see that. We mentioned Dennis, maybe he needs to take a role in entry fragging. He gets the first one, he gets the second one. And it's great to see that they instantly realize, okay, Dennis, he seems to have a good day, let maybe him go in first, which maybe normally he doesn't do, but when your entry fragger isn't feeling it, sometimes you just need to change roles on the fly. And Sprout, they just did that. One around. And now once more going for a B contact place. Spitty losing his life in the middle to Devil. To the AWP. And I think the whole game plan was to Spitty maybe create some chaos while their teammates are just trying to contact B.
Yeah, but what I think right now is the most interesting, how will he lead his team? He's dead. He can call pretty much in peace right now. So, 2 players sent to the lower tunnel section. As Dennis and Faven just waited up for the moment. Not quite sure if they're going to try to go through middle. At least one has passed. That is a good bit of information. And we instantly see a rotation coming in. And that's the moment where then Dennis joins tunnels. And they would technically have the man advantage on the B side right now. If they drop the right bit of utility, if they get those smokes in the right spot and the flashbangs to blind their opponents, that could have been just all so brilliant. First flash comes, and that's Devil eliminated. Jinx back on site. Could be just taken out in a bit. Murbit doesn't feel it as you said, but the second not allowed to be grabbed. Bombs coming down. And they already split up. Haji coming for tunnels. One stays back long. And I'm not even quite sure if they want to try to go for it. Because for the moment, it seems like 2 players are staying back, and CT are a bit intimidated. Faven might just not have the best idea. They could just technically pass each other. They might just do so. Oh. They spotted him beforehand, and now they're going to execute it. Now they're going to make their way on the site. Searson hitting the first. That's already 1 position less they need to worry about. But Mackeson is also coming from tunnels. But no chance. You're out. And this was once more one of those details, Cine.
Yeah.
A Faven going onto Xbox, forcing the offer back on the A site. And then they just have the upper hand.
Yeah, I mean, to some degree, there's still 2 players on the B side, which normally a very strong hold if you have a doubles setup. But Sprout, the first pop flash was so important because, first of all, it blinds the first guy who covers the AWP. and it also flashes the AWP. So both players on the B side are blind. They get instantly the kill onto the AWP player, and then you're able to trade out the kill on the side. So, I mean, this pop flash by itself won somewhat the round for Sprout. And look how focused Sprout now on the B side is. I mean, they're just realizing, well, B seems to work out quite well, so why not abuse the B side a little bit more?
Oh, can Faven hit the right timing on Macazin? No, doesn't seem so. This can actually end quite badly.
I think he just hacked the ball.
But instead of retreating, he goes more aggressive, which is something maybe Macazin does not expect. But he can really make that one work in the end. As long as the best idea Dennis feels it, it isn't. And Speedy running basically with him into his own death. We talked about the B side, Cine. That one went downhill quite fast.
Yeah, I mean, they once more tried the same thing, but instead of just faking a short, they tried to fake a long. They didn't expect so much firepower to be at long, and now they're paying for once more a B hit, but I'm not too convinced this will go their way.
Only nice to shut them down. Easy frags. First one to come in. Sprout is not taking that one home. They still got two options, right? They still got somewhat of a buy left, with the majority having over $5,000. And I mean, even 9 to 6 is something you can work with.
Yep.
Definitely not great. Definitely not amazing. But if you remember, versus LDLC, Freddie Max was struggling more on the T side than on the CT side, if I'm not totally wrong.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. And I think, as I mentioned before, if they get 6 rounds, there's still somewhat of a chance to Sprout to win this game. But look at Maka, he's going aggressive and he keeps on pushing. I'm not quite sure if they have the right off angle. It doesn't seem like it. Oh, no one is guarding long at the moment. And he hears Surson and he waits for Surson maybe to take a peek long. What?
Oh.
What?
Woo,
okay.
That's nasty.
Wow. Well. I have nothing more to say.
I mean, even the horoscope for Sirasan was saying, dude, you're dying, but in the end, he gets the kill on the Frenchman, which allowed him to have a 5 versus 3, but instantly turned it around to a 4 versus 3. Players focusing over long, and the rotation of Freddie Max had happened, but what kind of positioning do they take? Put they rather a more defensive style, one on short, and maybe one's back in a ninja corner? But it seems short and CT. The 2 angles to cover over there on the A site. And this is perfect for Faven. This might be just brilliant for him. As he finds Haji, he should technically find Haji. He does so, hurt the player back on ramp, instantly retreating, and AVP saying bye-bye. I'd rather get this one into the next round. And the bomb still making its way. And you know what I find so weird, Cine?
Yeah.
I think we have never ever seen Sprout play so late. I mean, really that late. We're talking about last 20 seconds.
Yeah, and also, I mean, we've seen him play maybe in some rounds a very slow approach, but normally we see a mixture of some explosive plays, some very structured slow approaches, but it felt like the first half was mostly just taking some map control, waiting till only 30 seconds are left, and then going for some all-in crazy push. But yeah, you're right. Maybe they tried too hard to do something on the A side. I mean, they maybe had some ideas. Maybe you could try it that way. You could try this, maybe to approach A long a little bit later. Maybe try to execute from short, but nothing worked. And I mean, all the rounds they won, I think it felt like they were all on the B side. Well, let's see. I mean, Murbit has somewhat of a good spawn towards A long. They could try to send Murbit out, but I don't think they will go for the will they? I think they will.
Seems like it. You talked about aggression. Cine Murbit is not really looking in the right direction, but he surprisingly also didn't take too much damage yet. So, and then it's Richter playing Dutch, but
no.
David P with a triple. He's not going to convict him of murder. No, he's going to be the murderer himself. As it suddenly all collapses. Double kill coming in from the IGL. But where does Devil look to? Where are his eyes pointing at? And most importantly, can Faven hit the right timing? Because Seriously grabs the bomb. Can push away. Should be able to. Gets a lot of damage in the end. And they still got Faven and CT.
Yeah, I mean, they know that 2 players on the A side, so they know only one can be at the B side. When they're trying to fake for Faven, smoke towards middle, hoping someone will push city spawn, and if Faven gets a kill in the A side, they could still go to the A side if they want to.
This is the problem, though. 40 more seconds. And I mean, it's time to take the initiative. It's time to do something. And 3D Max really playing it as passive as you can get. No overextending? Not quite sure how Faven just saw them while they were. He's instantly retreating. And there they go for the site. The flashbang was nice to have, but Jinx with what a double. And there are the double digits already in favor of 3D Max. I would have not expected it to be such a dominant starting half.
Yeah, but it's also, I mean, just very well played for 3D Max. In the last round, we saw, I would have called the same for Sprout, because you saw 3D Max always pushing, always getting information, especially if they're down one man. They start to maybe push out long, push out short, try to get some information. And Sprout, they played it perfectly. Got mid control, retrieved the bomb, smoked mid for Faven to bait someone to come in through city spawn, because 3D Max, they were just solely relying on Jinx to hold off B tunnels and middle. No one was helping Jinx out, so it's a very strange call coming from 3D Max, and it's somehow not the fault of Sprout, it's just amazingly read from 3D Max in this round. And let's see if they can continue those reads on their T side. 2 flashes, 1 smoke towards middle to crush to short safely. And David P, he's the IGL, he takes the charge, he pushes through short and he sees them.
He does see them, but all doesn't change anything here. There's the question. Speedy knows, Speedy heard, Speedy is aware. But at the same time, Sirison falls, and it's only about Mermit. And he gets his 2nd kill after 16 rounds. And that was an important one. Just really held them down to not just push shorts, directly move on to A. And so the time is getting a little problematic right here. With Maka trying a very interesting long-range approach from his Glock, but now B-side is the main point of attack. Faven already gets dinged. He's asking for help. He might be just eliminated. He is. Sprout's defense is collapsing again. I mean, Speedy is in a very ugly position. No armor. Only a kit, and that's now needs to be the ace off Merbit. 16 rounds, 2 kills, now get the ace. That would be the dream for Merbit, as he hears one already towards upper tunnels, pushing through, lower tunnels as well. Every single corner, every single position. It's not looking good at all.
Yep. It doesn't look too good. First round. First pistol round on T side. 3D Max winning this one with ease, and Sprout, they are down to 11-5. Will they go for a 4 spy? It seems like it. 3 scouts, 4 scouts, and 1 deagle. I think this round is safe for Sprout already. Maka is still challenging both, and there you go. You never challenge a scout on a CD side. No matter if you're Poison, if you're Drake, and if you're Maka, you will always lose.
As shots are coming in, I mean, we're still at least in a man equalized situation. And we know those scouts, they can get it rolling. But do they expect the Devil does? Most likely he does, and Dennis shoots a little fast, can't escape though. And we're still in the situation where 3D Max has no real major map control. Maybe someone towards tunnels, as Haji is waiting there.
Yeah, I mean, 3D Max is doing the same that Sprout did in the last equip round on the first half, just waiting for Sprout to maybe push once more aggressive. We saw Dennis try to get the long control, it got denied, and Freemax are just waiting and waiting and waiting. Let's see what they will decide in the end. Which side it shall be. It looks like the A side gathering up middle, so they could go through short. Oh, and David P finds one more. Should be an A split coming in.
And as you say, it's coming in. And it's fully blind, doesn't stand a chance. Speedy can try, but no high hopes. Very honestly, Cine. No high hopes at all. And it's a shame, really, because that's something I would like to see.
Well, let's see. I mean, if Sprout they want to have a nice comeback, they will need a lot of work to do. Because 12-5, it's going to be a full eco. Pretty saving the scout, dropping the Surson, but yeah, I mean, after this round, if nothing too crazy happens, it should be a 13-5, and then it's Sprout needing to win 8 rounds in a row to just tie it to a 13-13. And this is gonna be very hard. I mean, if we maybe see a very aggressive Sprout we have seen before against Heavy, if you can remember, with Dennis playing secondary up, there might be still a chance, but it feels like 3Max, first of all, they're just hitting their shots, they're playing a little bit better than Sprout. Also, as a team, if you take a look at their reads, how they approach the game, at least in S2, it seems like everything works out. Dennis, it felt like he has a perfect timing. Nope, Jinx coming in from behind.
I mean, I don't have any hopes in this round, very honestly. Whatever you're going to tell me, they need a major comeback. And by that, I mean a major comeback. 13-5. It is for Max. 13-5. This team is really getting better and better. Period. This team is really improving day by day, time by time. And I find it very impressive what they can do against a team like Sprout. Players are coming out. Dennis can't make it work to some degree. Devil is still eliminated, and Dennis with a triple. Is that what you need? Sprout is still standing on their feet. Weak. But they still stand. David P and his squad, they still got the money for the next round.
But important, yeah. But important that also Sprout isn't struggling too much. I mean, it's a flawless round. They're able to build up their economy. As I mentioned before, they need now 7 more rounds to make it a tie, and they need all the money they can get. City side economy is always so hard. I could even see Sprout going for AWP setup later into this second half. But let's take a look. Devil going for long control. But there's some flashes coming in. So. And look at 3Max, it's so strange to see that they're still going for long. They see all those flashes coming, they still just push out. So just once more a perfect read from 3Max. They instantly know what Sprout is trying to achieve. They tried just to fake a long control, to buy them a little bit more time, but 3Max are not falling for it.
They don't. And I mean, that could now become quite problematic. Devil gets a nice little boost from his teammates. Maybe this is all just also for inspiration reasons, or motivation reasons, one of it. It's 1 minute left. Max very, very patient with their play, not really seizing any major control besides long, which they're already having. And as this belongs to them, as this is their territory, what kind of attack can they start from that position on? I mean, smokes are there on only one individual. That's Jinx. They can't easily cross towards City. They can only use their flashbangs as good as possible. The models are coming in now. The utility is being used. And Zeros on the first away. Murder can't do a thing. And it's collapsing in a matter of seconds. This is so unfortunate. Because Murbid was relying on Searson there to have his back, to not let them just pass, but he can't do a thing.
Yeah, and this looks like this should be... This is the round for Remax. I mean, Sprout are already trying to save their 2 weapons on the B side. They will be able to afford another buy in the next round, but Sprout already falling because after winning 1 equip round doesn't look too promising for a comeback some maybe hoped for. They could even lose those two AKs. Previous guys coming their way, not making too much noise.
Well, 14-6 coming the way of Freddie Max. And that's 20-7, right? We talked about individuals being on fire, right?
Yeah.
It's a classic trio. It's just a classic trio. Devil, Haji, and Maka. With David P also stepping in here and there, most definitely. But they're in it. They're really in it. And I am astonished, fascinated, and impressed. Whilst Mackeson is baking a fresh croissant by himself. And Jinx shows why he's on the bottom of the scoreboard. Can't find the frag. And Freddie Max in total. Seizing early control with middle. I'm not quite sure that doesn't know where David P stands. I don't think so.
It didn't look like it. It's once more Sprout winning this round, but only because Free Mix, I mean, they took so many risks. But they can take those risks. They were leading 40-6. First of all, we saw Maka just staying the flames, being down to 10 HP. But look at Haji. You mentioned him, 20 kills, 21 now. Bomb is still down, so I'm not quite sure if there's a possibility for them to win the round.
And that's just devastating to some degree. I mean, I surely don't believe that Sprout is gonna... Not believing is the wrong term. Let me rephrase it. I don't have high hopes of Sprout getting back into this. This is just not that bad. We saw Freddie Max really playing a little bit more casual and loose, especially towards middle, not using too much utility to go further than middle, for example, towards the B side. And yeah, there we are looking in a situation that is not that promising. The buy is all right. They got the Augs. They got that one from us, unfortunately, onto Dennis. Nevertheless, what will be the Freddie Max approach be? Because it seems like they went super fast over short and might just try to capitalize in that situation.
Yeah, it's once more Jinx leading the charge. Molotov. We get someone close by, but Burbidin Long gets 2 kills. Doesn't even get tagged. Switch to the AK, and knows his third could be there. Just waiting once more closer to smoke. Use his next smoke, nade coming in, and they just all fall one by one, and it's all left in David P. But it's so hard for Sprout. I mean, because for DMAX, they're at the moment they're just trying always something crazy. They're taking very high risks. Not getting rewarded, but they only need 2 more rounds. So even if it looks like, well, 3DMX having no chance in this round, they only need 2 more. 2 more mistakes from Sprout, maybe just some 2 big gambles from 3DMX that pay off in the end. That's already +2. And the ends of 3DMX also getting at least 1 point. With possibility of getting 3 points, because second map will be Inferno, where I would have thought Inferno feels like there's even a bigger chance for 3DMX to win the map. So if they're able to already win this too, I think they have great chances of getting 3 more points in this matchup.
You know, I've done a major mistake. I need to tell you about that.
Yeah.
I wanna complain about something, first of all. You know, there was this new Red Reserve roster someone announced on Reddit, if you remember.
Yeah.
And somebody said, Zen is a bad addition because it's inconsistent as hell.
Yeah.
So when we take a look at the stats of Zen, a thing he isn't is inconsistent. Okay? So imagine what the first comment was. Zen being inconsistent. So much we have seen about this guy, really.
Yeah, yeah.
I was furious, but that's not it. You know what's even worse? I was starting on my main account to use the Glaive config, just for the fun, before this game.
Yeah.
It basically crashed my CS so far that I got low stuttering FPS when I was tabbing out and full screen window, so I had to switch to my second account. So, thanks, Glaive, at that point in time. Do you know that he has... Listen to me, this is really interesting. I'm not quite sure if you find it normal or if you find it surprising. He has a button to lock in his crosshair.
What do you mean to lock in?
So, imagine you're strafing left and right, and you hold one angle, okay?
Yeah.
But when you move with your mouse, you sometimes do a little mistake, right?
Okay,
you move a little up and down.
Okay.
And he basically locks it in. He holds down a button, and his crosshair will be locked in. He can't move it with his mouse anymore.
Okay.
That's for strafing, as far as I know. So when you strafe around and you know exactly which angle to pre-aim, you can't do mistakes anymore.
Okay.
You see?
Yeah.
I find it very... That's a super small detail, but it's super weird at the same time.
But you're right. That's... Oh, interesting.
And you know what's also bad? He uses his weapon on the right side, not on the left, like every normal being.
I think I also use it right. The only thing I have a problem with is people who always just change it all the time to left and right, depending on which corner they're aiming. Oh, Dennis.
That's somewhat dangerous. I mean, maybe this is the crystal 3D Max was looking for, but it should not be working. It doesn't. Except David P goes ham, jumps down CT. Promising, but not working.
And let's see, and there we go, Dennis. LWP, playing aggressive, fighting first spec.
I got a deja vu. Now I got a deja vu.
Yep. And somehow I think you also feel a little bit more hopeful for Sprout to make the comeback happen.
Suddenly. I mean, this is the switch I was looking for.
Yeah.
This was exactly what I was looking for. And Devil, David P, and Haji, the guys are running out of money. Bankruptcy seems to be the next step, and they got to call the bank for a loan, which they won't get. Moody's says no AAA rating for you. And as there's no AAA rating coming in for 3D Max, they at least have big losing bonus. 2,900 is exactly what they're about to get. With 0, 0, and 0 on Devil, Haji, and David. If they find frags, sure, this one is going up a little. But Merbit is knocking on the back door and finds the first. Did he spot the bomb is the question. Should have. And now, most definitely. It's known, spotted. An ex-Envious Academy player, Haji, needs to consider what his next step is, because saving would be the most logical one.
That's to some degree. I mean, he will save, but he won't get any money, so his teammates will need to force. Because if they go for a full eco, and I would have said maybe just Haji should have went in and died, because now he has an AK. His teammates will go maybe for some deagles, I suppose, but in the next round, he won't be able to afford anything. Maybe a UMP, maybe a deagle, but that's it. So sometimes it makes even more sense to not save the AK if your teammates are not forcing. But let's see. Maybe this AK will make the change, and Haji, he goes in very aggressive.
Does. Smoke coming down. Fabian definitely knows. And you know what? I think comebacks are sometimes a little weird, right? But this one is one I think Sprout would deserve. And as Sprout really fights their way back, and as Haji and Co try to seal the deal on that, can the Sproutlings edge it out? As they already sit on the cliff and are about to fall down, can they recover themselves and get back up on their feet entirely? Money is not a problem. Utility is not a problem. All of that. No big deal.
And they're going for a B split, it seems like. I mean, they still have some time left, some equipment. But this could get dangerous. If Speedy's not able to maybe hold him off a little bit longer.
Look from behind!
Ah, there he goes.
This right now disrupts the setup so massively. This disrupted so massively because it's got pressure from behind. They should not be able to find the frags. And that bomb is down, one after another eliminated. And you know, this great economy of Sprout, it's only helpful to some degree. Because if 3D finds a round, it's not much longer until they maybe even find the entire win. Because then it will be match points. That's the worst about it. Nevertheless, you know how I talked about Haji, Mackeson, and also Devil top performing since then? I think every individual got 1 kill.
Yeah. It's quite true. I mean, they're getting shut down everywhere, but Speedy misses Molotov, needs to fall back instantly. Flashes for himself. Buys me just a few seconds. But that's free A long control for 3D Max. And Surson in the meantime trying to capitalize on the chaos created on long. He knows maybe someone is nearby, maybe lower tunnels, maybe someone up in mid, but he doesn't see anyone, so he could tell his teammates that probably it's gonna be a straight up hit from a long. Oh, and he goes even more aggressive.
Problem is David P is waiting. Can he find the frag onto the Frenchman? Excuse me, the Belgian is the question. Yes, he can. An underpass might be now a tricky spot. Haji is not really flashed, but he can retreat. And they have the upper hand. Cini, this is maybe a good possibility for Sprout to get properly into this. As I say it though, things might collapse as there's a tiny gap. Devil can accumulate another kill. Taking that back, there was a massive gap. And we're in a 2v2 with 2 ops. Easy retakes look different. Switching over to AK, Searson is humiliating. Only Mr. Howell on his own. Switching over to the AK, reasonable decision. One player jumping down, dinking him twice. And now knows, okay, I just need to go for the botgan law. Devil waits and will play aggressively towards short. And 1 shot is needed from the op. 1 shot, but it's not working. And he gets the quad. And those 4 kills open up the opportunity, the major door for 3D Max to pick up that win. And Sprout had the upper hand, and not just by a bit.
Yeah, and you mentioned, I mean, Mecca, Devil, and Haji, normally the 3 players who made something happen in the first half. Now make something happen in the second half. Dennis going very aggressive without using a smoke, so I'm a little bit unsure what his plan was for this round. But yeah, as I mentioned, one little mistake with the draw. Faven gets only 1, and it's a free B side. And this could be already a game. And 4 people alive on the T side, only 3 on the CD side. Speedy needs to go very aggressive. He goes in, finds the first one, instantly gets traded, and it's still a 2v3.
Ooh.
Make it a 2v2.
And Searson must hear Mackeson. He must hear Mackeson. He does, and gets him mid-air. Chances are still alive. As the man who's the hero with the XM1040 now needs to be the hero with the AK-47. Sprout only got 1 real position to come through. And that one is now smoked off. The wall has been built. David P.
Oh, did they hear the flash?
Can just pass? That's the question. Mermit knows. Mermit seems to have some kind of idea. David P, though, it's just about to smoke fading. When will they actually strike? The defuse has initiated. David P is going to be eliminated nevertheless. Jesus Christ, Cini. Make those games tighter, please.
Yeah, so close, especially if the flash didn't hit David P. I don't think they would have expected him to be there in the smoke, so a very nice try. He instantly realized, you saw he took control in front of B, realized, okay, no one is in front of B, so therefore probably both will come from tunnels, smokes of tunnels, tries to play around the smoke, But the flash, it hits him in his knee. They hear the sound. And they go for the fuse. 15-12, but I mean, 3 more chances for 3D Max. In this round, I think they'll just go for some pistols. And then they have 1 more full equip round ahead of them to close out as 2. Or we'll see the comeback really happening. I mean, it looks somewhat promising for Sprout. But once more, I mean, we saw Sprout just taking the charge, always winning those duels, always playing way superior, but then just doing 1 or 2 little mistakes in the late round. The round can also fall apart so quickly.
Just don't know what to feel about all of that. Is Sprout really bouncing back into this properly? Because the weird part is we're at a 15-12, and the ADR on the Sprout side of things is really not looking that great. And that might just sound like a little detail, but the same goes for utility usage, though Flash, enemy Flash is just brilliant on their side. There were tiny mistakes that were that was capitalized for 3D Max. Tiny mistakes. This is also what got them the round number 15, basically. And now can 3D Max really pull this short aggression off? It's only down to Searsome to hold them up, and there's already the assistant of Speedy coming in. You might have just heard that. But that first smoke is gonna be dangerous. Speedy is blind and can't find a shot. There's more to come from the IDL. Same should go for Murbit. As he taps away the head of Hachi, it might be just a little bit of a turtle aggression. And this is a perfect read from the German player. This is a perfect read from all of them. For a second you thought maybe they can get the surprise moment. Maybe they can catch them off guard. But not like that. You talked about pistols, they went in.
Yeah, they went in all in because now they're once more down to 4 spy. They will be able to afford some AKs in the last round, but... Well, Sprout. They thought this game was already over on this 2 on their city side, which we already mentioned many times before. It's normally Sprout playing way better on their T side, especially against 3D Max where they won 12 T rounds last time. And this time they're just playing way superior on the city side. And also the aggression all of the time. I mean, we see Murbit always having the right read to push long, but just when they didn't think about maybe caring for someone to push long. And this round should also be over very soon. No flash, no smokes. Even if they get 1 or 2 kills, it doesn't really matter because money on Sprout is so high. Even if 4 people, that is still have a lot of equipment and all the weaponry they need in the next round.
They must bring it over. With Searson hitting shots like that, it's pretty much secured.
Okay.
Well, pretty much is what my words used to be. Actually having his jump bind activated while shooting is not getting him killed yet, but that bomb is about to be retrieved, or is it? Because it dropped down. This is such a bad positioning. And they gotta use it. They just gotta use it. Murbit is not hitting shots, really. Can't get it done. Finally, this seems to be over. Finally, it's the 15-14. This was all on the edge. This was very much on the edge.
Yeah, it's interesting to see if 3D Max what their call will be. Because some of them were somewhat successful to always find a kill on Surson. He was only able to get 1 or none in the last 2 rounds against those pistols. So maybe try to abuse Surson playing not too well on the A side, or just try something completely different. That's going to be a B side contact play.
That's gonna be that. Let's see if there's gonna be a mistake happening. Not really. That nades. This is brilliant. Searson and Co are bouncing back. Will that still belong to them in the end? Haji still is up to pick up some fights and get those kills rolling. But the bomb is under German control. Not the best thing to say, at least for the 3D Max side of things. But it is factually true. And that's going to be the overtime. This is going to be nothing else than the overtime. Sprout coming in so late. And that's it. OT! is what we're heading into.
And I would have thought that Sprout, they are still able to make the comeback happen. Being down, I think, 11-4 on the first half. Losing the pistol round. Being down, I think, 13-4 at some point. Or 13-3. 14-4. And still, they somehow managed to come back. Losing one round in the meantime. But in the end, it's enough. And also, winning the last round, the frag from Surson was so important. Because Dennis, he tags the first one. Then you see the second terrorist just going around the corner, and he could have caught Dennis off guard. But it's Surson giving some backup, getting the first kill, and Dennis giving him the time to use his grenade to find a second kill. And Sprout, it's overtime, a new chance to win this too. And only one AWP, which I find interesting. Dennis doesn't keep playing the AWP. Maybe because it's somewhat too predictable. And he wants to switch things up. And look at Remix, they're so afraid at the moment. To maybe dive to some aggressive push, taking their time, waiting and waiting, waiting. Haji also just waiting on the B side, expecting someone to maybe push him. Now they finally try to take a short control. Surson is waiting for a pop flash. As soon as he sees the flash, we're going around the corner. Did he hit anyone? That doesn't seem like it.
Doesn't seem like it, no. Sprout with a superior and splendid comeback. As they already were bruised and on the ground, getting back on those feet and stepping up massively. But can they also now finish it off? Because Haji is intimidated, scared, and worried. Faven hears it. Faven knows it. He does not start shooting. He comes around. Oh no, this is so unfortunate. Second player as well. And this opens up good gates towards the side of B. Whilst that rotation happens, Merbit stays alive. Can he lurk a lot with the flashbang? As the man might be just killed back in ramp, he is dead. But 2v2 is winnable. It's just the op that needs to do the job. It's just the op that needs to capitalize on the situation. And as he sees Mackeson, no, don't do it. Searson, you can't do this. Searson, you cannot continue to go with this aggression. For a second, majorly intimidated. And that flashbang was absolutely astonishing. This is what gets you rounds. Both blinds, both eyes peeled, and then fully becoming blind.
Yeah, I mean, this flash won them the round because it looks like they should be the round for 3D Max getting on the A side. Surson missing somewhat of a very hard flick on the bomb player. And, well, 3D Max, I mean, they were up 5-3. They got 2 kills on the B side. The only problem they saw, they only had 30 seconds left. Of course, they can't rotate to the B side because if they want to rotate from A long to the B side, it takes them so long that in the end, the cities will already wait there. In the meantime, in this round, we see Jinx getting tagged by Surson. Down to 16 HP. And once more fast and long control coming in. Oh, and even a fast A split.
They're fast. They're really, really big time fast. Oof, and that's humiliation. City should try to capitalize on the first, can't even do so. They got the money if they feel like it, but it wouldn't be so reasonable, wouldn't it?
And also a little bit unlucky for Sprout that they tagged 2 players down to 4 and 16 HP, but also, I mean, the perfect read from 3D Max. You saw Sprout, they were not expecting anyone to come in for long so quickly. They're still trying to build some tower to boost someone on the A side, focusing on A short, and somehow they realize, well, I think there are just 3 guys coming in from long, not able to do anything. But let's see. I mean, Sprout, if they win the last round, it looks somewhat promising once they switch the side. As you mentioned, money shouldn't be an issue. Dennis, yes, the AWP, 7k left, so he can drop or Faven or Surson. Dennis could even drop one more. There you go. And fully equipped. And let's see, double upset up once more. Dennis will really play with his secondary op. Level going in for long, flashing himself, instantly falling back, and Jinx. Oh, he nearly opens up the B side.
What is that aggression? What is it even working? And so much utility thrown down towards B. They would be so close, but they find frags left, right, and center. it starts to get concerning as they instantly can move over short. Pretty much free passage. Nobody's gonna hold them up. Speedy is blind all over again. Speedy. So for sure, it's the patience of him. Rallic on the way. He goes with the steps. Oh, for a second intimidated. Finds another. Gets it a second.
Oh, Speedy!
Oh, this is so crucial. He got the right time and he got the right idea. And the beeping. The only thing it needs to start. And Mac is in high, elevated, 3 meters tall, up on the smoke. Might just see the first. No, Speedy! Dennis! Wrong player. Doesn't even matter. Old Mouse Sports Duo is still trying to get it done, and they should be able to do so. Are they? No. It's not enough. All the effort from Speedy.
Yeah, and just, I mean, so well played. Because he could have kept sneaking, but he realized, well, there's so much noise going on the exit, so maybe if he just starts running now, he can get 2 or more, or 2 or even 3 kills. He gets 3 more. But in the end, Maka also with a very important kill. Staying in his smoke in the ace, I think he knows. He needs to get 1 more kill to allow his teammate to maybe clutch this round. But what a close round. What a close match. 17-16. Remax, they only need 2 more rounds. And Sprout, they would need a flawless second half on the overtime to close out this 2. But at this point, I would say, I mean, I would give it up for 3D because they played this 2 so well compared to how they used to play this 2 or how they used to play this 2 against LDLC or even how they played against Sprout the first time around. So playing way better on their T side, maybe on the City side they on the City side they played way better. On T side maybe struggling a little bit, maybe taking too many risks, but still some very amazing reads, individual plays coming in, and there's no chance. 2 more rounds they need.
Let's see. Is the win gonna be the Valentine of Sprouts? A little early, of course, but still very possible. It's just a few proper executions, a few proper sets. And I mean, after this game, how good can Inferno be? Doesn't matter how this one will end. This is amazing. Like I said, Freddy Max versus Sprout is going to be the banger of the last 2 weeks of the UNL. So far, not disappointed 1 single second. Not 1. That's the run boost. Not really the run boost, actually checking around the corner with that boost. It's about to happen. A side is going to be attacked with only Dennis over there on long. Utility is about to be thrown. Dennis is still forced away a little. And as Mackenzie now makes the move to guard rather short, could end quite badly for the green plants. Starting off, Mackenzie goes for the first, and that is Speedy eliminated. They still have another additional player back towards middle, and that is Dennis. But so far, no crossing, no passing, nobody here, nobody to be eliminated by the German. And they're taking it slow. Very patient approach. James can make that work. Dennis is still in middle. And then taken out. This is the worst. This situation is so goddamn unfortunate right now. Especially with that retake. 1 player after another full. Mermit knows that his teammate got short. He still has short. And now it needs to be the German duo getting the things rolling. How much can Searson do? First frag secure. Second not happening. And they should have the defuse, shouldn't they? They do. Last seconds.
Wow, how close. I mean, 3DMX, they played it so beautifully, but also just taking so much time, waiting and waiting. And know that Sprout, they need to take a peek, they need to make a mistake. Maka holding the A side, his teammates pushing through. They will fighting Dennis to just try to lurk around middle, which was the right idea, but in the end, 3DMX, 2 map points, only 1 round they need. And they will be able to secure this too. And once more, I mean, we saw, it feels like there are some flashes that are missing on the side of 3D Max, on the side of Sprout, when they're trying to go through a short, always running into crosser Zamaka, but Haji finds the first, goes for the second, sprays him through the car. Oh, and this should be it. Only 3v5. 1 minute left. And if Sprout, if they lose this round, this is gonna be it.
It couldn't be worse, couldn't it? Merbit, Faven, and Spitty. Few players definitely trying their best to get going. But with that timer, and with that utility, and also that weaponry on Pretty Max, chances seem to come close to zero. With what a spray from David for the smoke. They're about to get eliminated off Dust 2. And as the steps have been heard, as Magazine takes the aggression, as every single puzzle piece goes where it belongs, it's gonna be the win in favor of 3D Max. I would have not believed to go into OT and then go that way.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, it's a nice comeback from Sprout, but also I would say somewhat well-deserving for 3D Max. They played so much better on Dust 2 as they usually play, and well, one point secured. Maybe it's a chance of 3 more points for 3D Max.
Indeed. I mean, it could be. It could be. Devastating for Sprout in the end, but I mean, Inferno is still there.
Yeah, and I think Inferno we'll see just after a short break. And then we'll be back with Sprout against 3D Max on Inferno. Let's see. And we are back with the second map of our first match. Sprout against 3D Max. We just saw a very long and very close +2 game. Now Inferno, where normally OTs are somewhat of a given. I don't know what to expect.
Me neither. I mean, especially what we need to point out is that both Faven and Dennis actually land in the bottom half of the scoreboard for the Sprout side of things, with actually Faven coming with a 0.56 and Dennis with 0.93 ratings throughout the course of so many rounds. That's definitely not satisfying. That's definitely something from those players you cannot expect to happen. For Sprout side of things, they maybe take it also a little less serious because the UML is basically safe haven by now. They got their slot booked, nevertheless. Maybe they end up in the second best of 3, maybe in the first best of 3. Maybe they don't care too much about it. Nevertheless, it's still unfortunate to see them falling, to see them crumbling, especially after they did that comeback.
Yeah, it's just a little bit sad for them. I mean, they sometimes we're just always a debate if it's better to just lose a map dominantly, let's make it 16-4 and move on to the second map, not using too much resources mentally, or is it better to just have like the feeling we were so close, we are just in it once more, and now with this momentum of knowing it was so close, you started the second map. I'm not quite sure which is better. It probably depends on the team.
It does. What I find very interesting, I think this is something we have to point out, spot that yesterday already in the team chat, they got a new coach on the side of 3D Max, Max OB. Would be very interesting if what kind of role he played, if he did some specific preparation against Sprout. I don't know. It could be possible. You're never sure what's just in the strat book of 3D Max, because they seem quite prepared and ready in what Sprout did, especially during the first half. Maybe we can expect the same on Inferno. Yeah,
you're right. I mean, you're absolutely right. It looked like they had a perfect read in some of those rounds. Always when it felt like, well, Sprout are trying to make something happen. 3D Max already being ready for it, not using too much utility in some cases because they knew no one would be there. So you're right. Maybe just some lucky reads. Maybe it's just some well preparation in beforehand from the coach. And Inferno, I would say, I mean, at this point, we both felt like this should be a 2-0 for Sprout, but I feel like this could be even now a 2-0 for 3D Max.
It could be. It could be very much. I mean, they seem very strong. They seem very confident. They could especially pretty much abuse weak Sprout individuals, in my eyes. There were a few situations, but I mean, we're directly hopping into the map. We're directly hopping onto Inferno, and we're going to figure out if it's going to be a 2-0.
Yeah, let's take a look. What we'll see already in the first round. We can see Spitty going for a nade, defuse kit. And on the side of 3D Max, it's Maka buying a smoke, 2 flashes. Oh, and Surson, he takes a quick peek into second middle, doesn't see anyone. Now he sees some people, just falls back, and not too much rotation coming in from the side of Sprout. Which is a little bit surprising. And you see even 3D Max, they don't have a straight up gameplay, they just wanted to make sure that nothing crazy is happening on the side of Sprout, not too much aggression coming in from the B side, not too much aggression coming in from balcony. Now they know, okay, Sprout seems to just play out of a default. And let's see what the gameplay is, because they still have someone who's waiting in banana. They could go for a B hit with the smoke and the flashes. Actually trying to maybe make them back off. But Dennis, you mentioned him, he falls.
Yeah, as I say, he falls. And that just means it's all looking way less strong. Sirison on his way to defend the side properly. Mermit might be falling. Oh no, this is so unfortunate. He is eliminated. Tried to play it sneaky and smart, but nobody can capitalize on the situation. This is devastating. This is so unfortunate.
Yeah, and let's see now Sprout, because they could have... Okay, they were going for a force buy, but sort of a force buy. It's a very strange buy. 5 nades, doing some damage, but not too much. With it being 5 nades. What I find so odd is, first of all, Faven instantly dying without doing too much damage, and he was the one guy forcing all the way down. But the most odd thing is that Murbit and Surson are both keeping 2k, 1.7k, so I'm really surprised what Sprout is going for. Maybe a double op setup, but still they could have bought a little bit more.
Maybe. Talking about it, maybe. It's not looking that confident anymore. As we see 3D Max run over the B side entirely. 1 minute left on the clock. And I mean, when we talk about Inferno and what we have to mention, just a general thing I love to talk about. Statistically speaking, Sprout is better on the CT side, but not too much. We saw them struggling massively on the T side against Trick, for example, where they went into OT. This was the first appearance of Sprout with the new roster on Inferno, where we saw then little mistakes making Trick collapse. And for Max, especially, like I said in the beginning, I think it really comes down to them, how much they feel, what is their daily deal, right? Did they sleep well? Did they have the great oatmeal? Did they have the bad one? You know, were they in the gym? Things like that. You know, you might find it minor, but it's a really inconsistent 3D Max we know, unfortunately.
And I'm once more, I'm a little bit surprised that Sprout didn't fully force last round because, look, the second round, it's Inferno. It always makes sense to maybe force. Oh, they did a lot of damage. They instantly rotated to the B side. They're hoping that 3max will maybe just overreact and instantly push on the B side with seeing so many people being on the A side, but they don't really overreact. I mean, it's strange to see 3max seems like one of those teams who normally just adapts real quickly, but now they just played somewhat safe. We see Devil making sure, trying to find out if anything is on the B side, and who knows, at least one guy is there. And his teammates, they're contacting the A side.
They do. And as they overrun it, pretty much 3D Max with a 2-0. You know what? You know what I would actually like to know? Can you do me a favor real quick? Take a look. Hold on. I'll tell you in a second. What's more, when I start a story, it's always bad timing, isn't it? But I mean, from a realistic point of view, not much more is going to happen. So, Sini, please take a look at our producer. And, and what does he think? What does he personally think about our talk show idea? Where we talked about when you were a little sick, you know, when you were...
okay, yeah, well, David was back then there, so...
I know it was David. This is why I told you to stare deep into the eyes of Sasha.
I think he looks a little bit scared, but also a little bit amused. I mean, he's having a nice little smile.
Is he buying it? Is this the only thing I want to know?
I'm not quite sure yet.
Because, you know, he's very duty-driven, you know?
Yeah, I know. I don't know how he feels about, let's say, lean. Okay, I think he approved. He approved the idea. I just got the okay, yeah.
It's very nice. It's very, very nice. Lovely. That's all I want to hear. Now let's see. Enough talking. 3D Max is definitely looking for an easy start of things. Sprout themselves. I think it's anytime soon. Serious, son? Those are not shots he usually would whiff. With Dennis.
What? Dennis!
They're all just running into him. I mean, I would have expected a lot of things, but not that. Whilst at the same time, Devil has been spotted. And from the left into the right, players are just about to humiliate him, take him down, and erase him. Especially as Speedy now joins Library. Devil runs away again. It's not looking too good to find much more. 30 seconds. That A site should belong to Sprout by now. So Dennis is eliminated. They don't get anything done anymore. No real chance. Though they have a good bit of money, why risk it?
Yeah. Oh, and Faven? I mean, I'm not quite sure what to think of that move, because they lose an AWP, it's Sprout not having too much money, and they could expect 3max to have... I'm still shocked that they still go for it. I mean, even Murbit trying to take a peek, because we can see they need to drop at least 1 or 2 rifles, maybe even 2 that Dennis can fully equip himself with all the utility he needs. And they knew that 3max, they would have enough money, so there's not really a point of just going for those kills, especially Faven having the AWP. But you know what my idea was why Sprout is playing a little bit off today?
Tell me.
That they could be facing, maybe, I mean it depends on how the last 3 matches go, they could be maybe facing 3DMax in the playoffs.
No, they can't. 3DMax is at the number 6 slot. And neither AGO or Tricked will possibly take it.
AGO could take it. AGO could take it easily. They only need two more wins, so...
Yeah, but I mean...
And you must see that the Red Reserve is close by, I mean, tied to Sprout.
Yeah, okay, I see where you're coming from. Okay, your thesis is somewhat right. But the circumstances must be 3DMax falling to the 8th place, Sprout falling to the 2nd, 3DMax to the 7th. Those are the circumstances.
Yeah.
No, that's not about to happen.
I could see Sprout maybe just knowing that, well, they could maybe face 3DMax, so they don't want to show too many things when it's going to be a best of 3 in the playoffs. Only one match.
I think it's far stretched.
Probably.
But maybe you're right. I don't want to disagree with you. Right now, let's see if Dennis and Co. are disagreeing with you in the end. Frags are going to be found single-handedly by just those Ox. Speedy jumps out the corner and gets the guy killed.
Let's see, for DMX they are down to eco. They could go for some pistol buys. They could try something explosive, which worked out quite well. They're even spending okay, they're just a straight up force buy. Devil by an AK, being David P. Only Haji and Maka saving up some money, so I'm not even quite sure why Maka and Haji both are saving up money, because they don't expect a double up setup on the T side, but we'll see what they have planned. First of all, flashing mid, making sure that Surson doesn't get too much information what's happening. In the meantime, one guy making his way into Banana, while 4 of his teammates are preparing for maybe an ace at execute. They have still 3 smokes left, 4 flashes, and if they try to overrun Surson, oh, this could be so well played.
And talking about well played, I mean, this is a rush by the book, instantly shooting into the face of Sirson. Faven might be eliminated soon, and suddenly he is. He doesn't have the right read. So Speedy with the right peak, only getting 1. This is Sprout collapsing entirely.
Yeah, but it's really all down to Surson. I mean, I hate to maybe criticize people a little bit too much, but it feels like in some rounds when he knows there's just an eco, he plays too aggressive. Because that peak, with no one being nearby, he could have even tried to fall back further, because he could know that trying to get the LWP. He first of all gets Surson, he doesn't get any kills, and he gives them free AWP, which Haji takes and gets a second kill onto B side. So if Surson just plays a little bit safer this round, it could have been still an easy round for Sprout.
Indeed. Well said, dear Simi. I think you should, due to your mental state, you should be. I think you should try to work on being more sophisticated in English.
Maybe I can take how about Biceps London School business class.
Sounds like a good plan to me. But first of all, Sprouts sound like a good plan to them. Didn't work really.
Devil. I mean, 3 such important kills in this round. Nearly gets a 4th, but David P able to close up the round. And pretty max. I mean, Sprout, they tried something different, and you can see how close those fewer rounds beforehand were, because now Sprout are down to an eco. And I don't blame them to try something fast towards the B side. It's a nice approach, a nice switch up. They had some SMGs, so maybe with a good flash, some Molotovs, they could have been able to open up the B side to some degree.
Oh, and that is not going to really work.
Yeah.
And Freedomax is fast about this. I mean, not just about this eco, of course, but in general, Freedomax is not really delaying plays too much. Oh, no. Hid behind the pillar. Looked promising for a second, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, and not losing too much time. Makai goes up middle, finds Zerson, who was not ready for this straight up peek into middle, and they continue to play aggressive. They continue to play through smoke. Smurbit, he punishes Haji for that one, but still a lot of map control gained, and this could be a perfect B split if they want to go for it.
Indeed, it could be. Stebble just coming down, picking Speedy. Oh no. No, this is unbelievable. Mackinson finding Dennis. The other way around, the players are just falling down entirely. I mean, this went down so quick. So, Sini, I got a bad feeling.
Yeah.
I really got a bad feeling for Sprout right now. As Jinx and Co have the upper hand. But let's see. The time is not really too deep into it. And I don't expect a magnificent play coming out of Sprout right now. And in general, they seem somewhat lost. They seem just simply lost.
Maybe you just once more want to make things interesting, as does too. Losing the first half and then going for a comeback and Maka. He sees the shoulder of Faven. Will he even expect Speedy there?
That's the question. Will they do so? Frags like that coming in, it's somewhat beneficial. But in the end, I mean, the pivotal aspect right now is Sprout is reaching maximum losing bonus. You know, and maximum losing bonus, it's nice to have. It's great to see, but in the end, is it really going to change the fact? Because, like I said, they seem lost.
Yeah, but it's their city side. I feel like on the city side they didn't play too well in the last few times we saw them play, so...
And this is a weird Sprout, very honestly.
Yeah.
This is not the Sprout we know, really, from the past performance. And another
perfect
whiff.
example.
I mean,
yeah.
Sirison is, if not the best operator right now, or second best, sorry, the right way, second best operator in Germany. And definitely somebody who puts up the numbers, somebody who goes for the entry, somebody who does insane frags. And then this happens.
Who's the best opera in Germany? You mean Donna, for example, probably.
Probably, but besides her, in the male section, maybe Tapson?
Ah, okay. Interesting, yeah. I never thought about Taps as a main op, but now, yeah, you're right.
He is by now, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly, yeah, yes. Man, look at the tower. They really abuse this tower a lot. Finally, it pays off, but will it matter if it's Haji opening up the round once more?
Yes, he definitely hears all the steps. I mean, Speedy and Dennis both have used this position so often. How can they not be expected here? Is seriously what I'm asking myself. How can they not be expected there? It's such a weird situation. Such a weird situation. And then Murbit, he gets David P. And he runs away, or does he? Yeah, goes back home. 3 seconds. You know what you never told me, Cine?
What?
Who are the 8 teams that advance through the upcoming major stage?
Do you play the pick 'em challenge?
No, I didn't, but...
Okay.
But nevertheless, it doesn't change the matter of fact.
Yeah. I'm just taking a look. 8 teams. So I would say Cloud9, pretty safe. I would also take Energy.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Fnatic.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Ents.
Yeah.
And... Ooh. Vitality.
Yeah, okay. We're at 5. We're at 5.
Yeah. NIP.
6.
And now things get interesting.
I'm extremely mad if you don't call what I am... What is my main call?
Your main call. Okay, what could be?
Yeah.
Is your main call Greyhound?
No, of course
Okay.
not.
Yeah, just... you're a big Avantgarde fan, aren't you?
Exactly. It must
Okay.
be Avatar.
Yeah, I think they also stand a very good chance, because other than them, I could maybe see Vega Squadron or Renegades.
Tyloo?
I don't know, but with too many best of threes being played now, so I'm not quite sure if Tyloo has the right idea. Ryan Murbit, he shoots his teammate in the head, but it doesn't matter, he only gets 1, Jinx gets 2, and it's a trade they will take every time they can.
And so, 8-3. Does it turn out to be 9-3 is what I'm asking myself, because the bomb is pretty much in public. David P's blinds. And this right now, I think... Oh no. Comes down to Devil, but he has been heard. This man was loud as hell. As he tries to pick the bomb. Oh, David on the right-hand side. Can't capitalize on it. And as you have an op, you want to aim down, and what happens? It's painful.
Yeah, and Sursa not having the best time of his life, I would say.
This is devastating. As Merber tries to back up the A site. What kind of angle will it choose? I mean, maybe that tiny gap over the hay wagon, but take a look who's already on the B site. That is Devil.
Yep.
He got only 1 fight at the moment. That's Spitty. And even if one of his teammates dies right now, I just want to say he should have the refrag. Oh no. But there it comes. Like it was really important. David P. That was the shot needed. But nevertheless, they still got the upper hand. And the Sprout economy does not really give them any leeway. No additional wiggle room. Mirabit has to do this. Does he have the spirit, though? He's getting caught mid-air. And that is minimum losing bonus when we're hitting round number 14. It couldn't be worse. It couldn't be worse.
Yep, it really couldn't be worse because they have some money, so the thing is for Sprout, do they go for something crazy just to maybe have the option to get 6 rounds on the board, or if they play it safe but it looks like they're going completely crazy? Dennis buying for himself, his teammates don't buy anything, so maybe Dennis knows that he won't be able to afford in the next round any rifle or anything big, so why not go for it this round?
Very true. 100% legitimate point. And that crossfire, I mean, it could be so lethal. Haji could be just dying to that. Oh, he's lucky. He sends Jinx first, but they're coming all down. Dennis goes even further. Could he pick him up? No. Oh, this is devastating. They just had the perfect crossfire and found a great frag. But afterwards, it collapsed. And it just didn't collapse by a bit. Those were the 2 important pistols they had. And as they still, though, keep now the upper hand. Both find a frag. This is weird. And especially the worst about it is, Cassini, they don't have an AK. Talking about it. There they have it. Can they utilize it? Devil might find 2. No, he doesn't.
Yeah, and it's Sprout now with the last chance to get, or to deny 3DMX a double digits on the board. They have a double op set up, Faven and Surson going for it. Murbit, he could afford an AWK and M4, whatever he likes, and let's see what they will try to accomplish.
I mean, like I said, double digits for 3DMax at that point would be quite beneficial. It's something obvious to state, right? Don't get me wrong, but Inferno being a map where they are a little bit stronger on the T side, so capitalizing on that situation would have been interesting. Would have been, or more likely important to say it that way. Let's hear some taking that aggression, not spotting anything yet. I mean, that aggression might be intimidating. Pretty much bouncing into each other because they're so scared.
There's gonna be one crazy rush from the back tents.
Yeah, but not successful against Sirson. At least from now on. And then they're actually enforcing the A site. And as they might enforce that site, this gets better and better for them. But you know, Mac-10s, they sometimes just go for a full rush and you can't even react to it.
Yeah.
It's just Faven who I'm really looking for. It's just Faven. We need to say the shots goes for the first, the second as well, and the third should be now done with ease. As though the smoke pops, Haji wants to go a little aggro, but doesn't stand a chance. Left, right, and center players are coming. They all just want to take him down. It works to some degree. There it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least they didn't have the double digits on 3DMX, but I'm a little bit surprised they played so slow on the set of 3DMX. I would normally expect maybe once more a crazy push towards long to get the LWP out of the hands of Surson, who has only 3 kills. 3 kills.
It's
Surson,
odd, isn't it?
on the
It's
CD
really
side.
odd.
Yeah.
No, but maybe things change right now. You know, Hunden said it. Aggressive opper, aggressive style.
But it's also maybe something, I'm not quite sure yet if Surson already has the skill to play that way. That, for example, if you, I was just thinking about being an aggressive opper. But of course, if you have a good day or a consistent day, if you're a consistent player, you will always get your entry kills most of the time, because the op is just so superior to any rifle. But if you're having a bad day, not hitting some of those not too easy kills, then you maybe need to just adapt your plays and play more passive and just go for those easy kills where you know I'm just holding an angle, I can't die too quickly, I can fall back. I mean, maybe that's something that Surson needs to work on a little bit to adapt his playstyle when he's feeling like he doesn't feel it today.
No, you couldn't have said it better, I think.
And let's now see Sprout. They're making so much noise. I'm not quite sure if they are doing it on purpose, but it seems like...
What?
Hello, David P. You nearly lost all his utility. I mean, he's just running away onto the B side at this point.
And it's not even dumb. Because the split seems inevitable. And Haji has the idea. Haji has the read. Got a great crossfire set up with Devil. And they find both kills. That's amazing. That is what you were looking for. They have the upper hand. They got the man advantage. But Haji is whiffing a good bunch. Those kills were mandatory and necessary. But suddenly it's only 2 Sproutlings left alive. Back on the site of B. With such nades coming in. They know it's only Speedy. They don't have a kit. They're pulling through. Macassin can't hit his shot. And Jinx, he's doing it go. 9 HP, but the Frenchman keeps on fighting. And that for a very good purpose.
Wow, I mean, how close, but he did so much work. Only 1 more bullet missing. 1 more bullet. And it's a round for Sprout. And it would have been such an important round. But will they go for force? But he could buy an AK for himself, and he goes for it. Paven going for Galil, Verbit, and Mac-10. Surson going for Deagle, saving up somebody for the AWP. The next 2 rounds, but... Now let's see, at the moment just using their Glocks maybe to fake out they don't have AKs. This could work for a moment.
Yeah, good. Very good point. And I mean, I find Sprout's force a great idea, but it would be even more devastating if Radiant Max finds this round. It's David P, the man, and the only man in the UML who can handle a shotgun properly. And it seems they know about Devil. That's the worst part about it. The flashbang though pops. It's getting a little dangerous for Devil. Eliminated, and Haji retreats instantly, whilst all of his teammates are coming over as well. The question is, how long can he hold them down? And are they actually deciding for the B site? Now the smoke pops. Now they basically do. Maka is though forced away. And the MP9 falls. And that's the worst. But Maka can do a great job in this. If he would hit his shots, of course.
Bomb has been planted.
David P.
It's a classic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's devastating. That is really what makes it so devastating for me, really, because I find it so unfortunate that Freddie Max is collapsing during such a situation. And I'm not quite sure if Speedy saw him. There's a kit. You know there's a kit?
No, David P.
David?
He doesn't.
What?
It's David P. He has an XM. Do you think he goes for a ninja? He only goes for kills.
No,
You're right. I
mean-
mean, it's odd to see. He could have maybe tried with the kit, but I don't know.
that's odd.
Yeah.
That is definitely odd, but I mean, maybe he just didn't see the chances, and when you don't see the chances, why not rather keep the gun? I understand that.
Seriously, talking about not getting those entry kills, at least now able to find the first one in the middle. Sprout was using a lot of utility to get onto the B side. I mean, just to get banana control, 3 Molotovs. Already gone just 10 seconds into this round. And they're going for a contact play. Oh, and this could fall apart if Devil hits one of those beautiful eagle shots.
Well, as you see, Dennis and Speedy now easily taking the side off course. Haji just takes though the shotgun because the holy shotgun has to be brought into the next round. He must be leading the UML stats regarding that, right?
You mean David?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think anyone should be even close.
The XM is not even that bad. It's just underrated. I think if the XM would cost 1.5, that's interesting. Imagine the XM would maybe cost as much as as much as the MP5 ST.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I think the XM is even now OP. I mean, some people are also saying it's somewhat OP because it's only 2K.
Yeah, but you know, the same was with the AUG, right? It was statistically never changed besides the fact of the investment.
Ah, you mean maybe just to make people aware of how OP the XM
It's
is.
basically like a coupon. You know, the AUG just got a coupon code, everyone. Just use my coupon code AUG20 to get it for just $3,150, and suddenly everybody uses it. So if you would make the shotgun cheaper...
Or maybe just a Valve subsidy. For a few months. And look at Haji going. But Faven.
Talking about the shotty.
Yeah, and to talk about XM and the AUG, it feels like still the AUG is a little bit superior. But this round's got close. I mean, it's a 3v3. They seem to have the perfect read. Pretty much they are trying to take a little gamble, which makes sense. I mean, 2v3, it's somewhat of a bonus round. They're stacking on the B side, and there's only one on the A side. Oh, but the one guy with an AUG in his hands.
The one individual with the AUG in his hands. Jinx takes it down, up ahead of him. It's seriously no taking the ground, and this is now getting a little bit weird. 35 more seconds. Gotta stop it. What?
Oh, Maka.
He just passes!
Hello!
He took the left lane, and that was just the Porsche coming in quick.
Jesus Christ.
Everything reasonable was not speaking for this move. Everything. And he just stopped. He just walks directly past him. I was saying, I didn't see you there for a while. Bang, you're down.
You can see Surson just reacting, not playing the bomb, thinking, well, I will make sure he doesn't go through the smoke, and it's just Maka passing by with his 5-7. Doesn't even care, and what a round. What a round to win, yeah. That's exactly the sound he made.
Just reffing high, going fast, around the corner, maybe a little bit sideways, and suddenly hitting too many players. That was a devastating end. And that molly, how does it still work? There was still a smoke here, but okay, those are other Counter-Strike stories. Those are other Valve kind stories. As Devil takes out 2, Sprout might collapse in total after this round. Can you imagine? It was a running 5-7, basically getting 3D Max a key round, and maybe even the success of the follow-up key round. The stories Counter-Strike is writing is surreal sometimes. maybe even Kafkaesque. It's maybe too far stretched. Nevertheless, Mackensen coming in from behind. Should have been heard. Not eliminating anyone, though. That was a major mistake, but yeah, he has been spotted. David P spotted. David P gotta be worried. And that's the way you can give away free control, basically. That's the way how the A side is now so vulnerable, and Jinx is the only one holding them up. Searson spot him as well. One player taking the two aggressives. One player. You had yourself nothing else than a 3 versus 5 situation, and Mackensen considered to just go a little bit more aggro. Pushing B. Okay, that was pretty much a fatal mistake, and that pretty much literally, but afterwards, it got even worse.
Yeah, and now it's 3DMX. I mean, it was a 5v3. They had everything they needed, and they just going one by one. And also Maka just, I'm not quite sure, just rushing down middle with his AWP in his hands. Also David P making a little bit too much noise, so very odd to see how 3DMX just gave away the round for free. I mean, they had it in their pockets. They could have broken the economy of Sprout to some degree. They could have built on their own economy, but now it's 3DMX once more forcing. David P on XM, Jinx getting an AUG dropped, like he can buy for himself. So somewhat of a decent equipped round for 3DMX, but still very odd to see. Deep under control, seems to be coming in. Oh, but there's a huge gap in the smoke. And Devil needs to be careful. I mean, he's a little bit lucky that he gets there and doesn't fully extend into the gap in the smoke. And in the meantime, Brown's realizing, well, they have deep under control. Maybe we could take our chances and take the control instead. And already the rotation coming in. 4 people on the A side, only 1 on the B side. And it's Sprout. If they decide to play and execute, they will face maybe 4 people.
And with that height advantage, Sprout, they seem to collapse again, but I mean, we have had it in previous rounds. It didn't change anything at all. How many frags is Mackensen actually supposed to get in this? With Remembered finally striking, is it going to be any way successful or happening? As 45 seconds are left on the clock, maybe indeed it could work, but it just comes down to the defense of his teammates. The Molly definitely indicated that player is nearby, and Flashbang worked brilliantly.
Yeah, and now it's 12-9. It's the economy somewhat being damaged. I mean, he could still go for a buy Spitty person. Yeah, there we go. Already Galil being bought. Certainly, I think he just dropped an AK. So maybe he'll buy a deagle for himself. And let's see what Sprout has planned for this round. Because once more, it's going to be hard for Sprout. As soon as they win one round, they lose the next one. I mean, the only thing they got going for them, if they were able to break the economy of 3DMX, they could make the comeback because they're still at the brink. Haji only has 2k left, same goes for Devil. Maka probably has an AWP somewhere dropped nearby, but still. Let's see. Yeah.
You say it. Let's see.
I mean, the problem I see on the side of Sprout that they don't have too much utility. We saw how many Molotovs they used just to get banana control previously with 3 Molotovs, and now they only have 2 overall. Only 2 AKs, 1 Galil, 2 Deagles. And they're playing it safe. For the moment. Looks like it's gonna be mid-control. Faven going in first. And not even waiting for a flash. Okay, now there's a smoke and a flash. Oh, this could be a quick rush onto the A side.
It is pretty much a quick rush. Poor Jinx, though, falling in the trap. David P, I want to see you do the shotgun moves. As we know, his XM1040 is just pretty much on fire every single day at a time. well. That's brilliant. This is the perfect positioning for Searson. Freddie Max is falling again. The back and forth in this game is just unbelievable.
Yep.
You know, the fact that we have right now 1 round won by Freddie Max, 2 by Sprout, 1 Freddie, 1 Sprout, 1 Freddie, 1 Sprout. I mean...
But also, I mean, you just saw how well Surgeon played this round. First of all, waiting after seeing the first one, getting even 2 more kills, and also general the Sprout, mixing up their playstyle somewhat. I mean, we saw some very structured playstyle beforehand, with those grenades, with getting just B control in the beginning, and now just rushing through middle with only a few flashes. And really surprising 3Max with this one. And there's a chance of Sprout to maybe get a comeback going. Because take a look, I mean, there's still over 1 minute left. Instead of 3Max, they only have 2 smokes, 2 flashes, 2 M4s. That's all they have. And aside of Sprout, they have still so much utility. So even if they go for a B execute, even if there's 3 people second to B side, if they use utility wisely, there should be no problem for Sprout to win this round.
You say it. And all the utility coming down, while Searson, though, penetrates the B side as heavy as possible. It's exactly what Sprout is looking for. 30 more seconds. 4 out of 5 players all amalgamating their forces there. And there it comes. My god, this is the spray down. This is unbelievable. This is Haji finding out 2, but together with Devil 4. As they might just come from the back. Murbit doesn't get his shots right. The back and forth will never stop, Sini, will it?
It doesn't seem like it, and it is... I'm still shocked. I mean, this was the biggest chance for Sprout to win this round, to break the economy of 3Max and maybe get the second map Inferno, at least getting 1 point out of this best of 2 series. But it's back to pistols, at least not a force by just a few deagles, 1 smoke, 1 flash. Calderon, Spitty, Dennis and Murbit, and that's all they can afford or will afford in this round. But yeah, so strange to see. Both teams having so many chances to completely break the economy. And this feels like maybe that's all over again. Maybe a 40-10 and then it's Sprout maybe making somewhat of a comeback. Forcing it into overtime once more.
That is going to be just Jinx pretty much having a double due to the lining up. It's done with ease. 14 seems to be secured already, especially with the XM1014. The pellets going all over the players, putting them into pieces. Sprout's last real buy. That's not satisfying. This is really not satisfying.
Yeah, and this round could be already deciding whether 3Max will get 3 points or is there still a chance for Sprout to come back into this. Banana control once being fought. Both teams are using once more so much utility. It's so strange to see how Sprout will now decide if they will go for a full-on B hit. Oh, that is?
Well,
okay.
but there's a shotgun. Sini, we know. I was looking forward to it. Every time I see a shotgun, I am looking forward to it. But at the moment,
Yeah, talking about the back and forth, it seems like.
will it ever stop? I mean, for real.
Bomb has been planted.
I mean, it's just not even a joke anymore. I can repeat myself. 1 round 1 by 3Max during the beginning of the second half. Sprout winning 2, then 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and then 2. it is extremely odd. As you know, there would be so many factors actually speaking for a team getting more than one round, right? I mean, from an economic point of view, from actually the momentum point of view, those things that matter and that are basically not working.
So
There's a tech pause called by Devil.
and tell me, do you think 3DMX will win this? Will
Yes.
win this? Okay. Yeah.
You really want this, don't you?
I mean, that's probably the only logical thing at this point. It's gonna be
Yes.
yeah. Or for 3DMX, there's playing some pistols, maybe 1 or 2 flashes, and somehow dominate Sprout.
But we get regular flashbangs, don't we?
And maybe no gold, not any golden flashes. I don't even know. Is there something like, for example, in Germany, we would say, as mentioned, a golden flash, a flash that's nearly
Can we
perfect.
just talk about how this makes no sense?
When-
In
It makes sense because
in
it's-
Germany, no, it doesn't. Ich bin Gold. That doesn't make any sense at all.
I don't know. Ich bin Gold came from in 1.6.
Okay.
You said it. You will throw a golden flash, and then when you get flash from a perfect flash, you're golden. So maybe there's something also in some different languages where what adjective
Yeah, I
you
got
use
you, I got
for a perfect flash. You need to learn so much about golden flashes. And Devil, well, he doesn't need flashes. He doesn't need anything. He just needs a UMP, a smoke, and he doesn't even need the radar bind. He knows it. He knows how to shoot through.
Of course, a brilliant move. But Jinx, he's just waiting there with his XM, sorry, that is a taser, my bad. But Merbit might just run into it. Will Merbit run into the taser? Yes, he does. Free kill, 1 shot, coming electrifying towards the German-Turkish player. And Sprout now on the battlefield only with 3 players. Devil got the UMP. Will he be spotted? Is the question. Right-hand side, can't even find one. And that is brilliant. That is just brilliant. But if Haji should go aggressive, that's a different sort of question. We'll just remain back into construction. He should at least find 1 player. Can he do so? Not really. 4 and 100. But with 2 AKs and a molly in the hand of Jinx, nothing is impossible. And those 30 seconds got to be used wisely. Sprout needs the number 12. Sprout needs to hold up 3DMX from getting more. The molly comes close. Oh, and he can just dodge it by a millisecond. He can legitimately dodge it just by a bit. As the plant is now inevitable, that C4 is down. Do they expect the CT player Dennis to be just ready for them? A brilliant flashbang, and that is golden, as you say. Back on site, Searson waits. Doesn't need to worry too much. Headshot it anyway, and Davids. No spray coming towards construction. This is another round going for Sprout. 3DMX seemed to have the option, but they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, and this means Sprout, they are maybe able to win 60-14. At least they're still in it. 3DMX, after just having somewhat of a small eco, back to fully equipped round XM on David P. As usual, 2 M4s, 1 AWP, 1 AWP hands of Mecha. And a nade to open up the round. The Molotov's being thrown, maybe 1 pop flash. Getting banana control in the meantime, Dennis and his teammate Merbit are making his way into A apartments. Also making sure that no one is playing too aggressive. No peek towards apartments, falling back. It's Mecha just playing around middle, so will he be able to find an opening kill into this round?
Legit question. As Dennis is opening up a great move. I mean, does Sprout really come back? In 99% of the case, I would have my doubts, but after what we've seen there, I don't. Oh. And David passed them all. How far can he go? He has not been hurt, has he? And this could be the golden shotgun, basically. You said the golden flashbang. He might just actually meet the bomb in just a second. Sirasan, though. Oh, this is so unfortunate. The timing. And as Murbit finds Jinx, Sprout side is so dominant right now. And Haji trying his best to hide, stays back towards quad, but from a realistic point of view, no chances of survival, really.
There we go. 14 to 14. 3 more rounds for Sprout. 3DMX down to an eco. And the next round is probably the only chance that 3DMX has still left, because if they lose the next round, I mean, just imagining they will lose this round, it's going to be 14 to 14. If they lose the next round, it's going to be 15 to 14, and they still won't have too much money. So the next round will be important. Oh, but this round, they're playing it safe, and Cersei gets a double.
What?
And just shooting through Devil or through Haji. Gets me in second one. And maybe those CTs were in sale. 2 for 1.
Buy now.
Kill now.
And you get 1 for free. And you know, we Germans be like, oh, this sounds like a good deal. Gotta go for it.
Do you have any plans for Valentine's Day?
Yeah, I'm Jay. Lovely Switchblade Jay does that. He's gonna take over. Whilst you are gone, and I'm gone as well. Yes, I was invited originally to watch a handball match.
Okay.
I would do it,
Yeah.
technically, if I would have my car.
Okay.
But I don't. And I don't want to go to Göppingen without a car, if that makes sense.
I think I don't want to go to Göppingen with a car, but Jinx. Well,
this is not fair. This is not fair. Well, you know, I don't have. I'm not mobile right now. You know, I use the time whilst I don't need a car to cruise around Berlin to keep maintenance up. You know.
Yeah.
New brakes, new airflow. I don't know where to go with those UML dollars. You know. New suspension. And, you know, I think it would be time for a new, rougher suspension on 3D Max. It's time for them to really get that one going.
Could you maybe just make a noise at how?
No, you can instantly stop right there.
But look, there's maybe some just viewers just listening to us and not seeing anything, so you just need a sound of how 3DMX played in the first, in the last 7 rounds, and now how they should play in this round. But first of all, how did they play the last few rounds?
So the last few rounds, 3DMX was sounding like a Toyota Prius, and the previous rounds they sounded like a inline 6, and that inline 6 might just keep roaring if Haji looking for the off frag gets that one. Amazing. Kill needed. 3DMX with the upper hand by 1 player, and instant, you see the rotation. David P looked alert, and tantalizing it was to move over, but now mid-air the frags need to be found. Jinx with the Ox starts good. The Frenchman might just take that one, and Faven is isolated from his teammate. Poor Dennis, trapped, but still finding a kill. Think though in the end. And that 14-14 scoreline, I mean, it is the banger of the UML. It is nothing else than the banger off the UML. But 14-14. Who will pick the 15th? It looks in favor of 3D Max, and it seems like that is in the end going to be the case. There we got it.
Yeah, and this round was so important. It was so important for 3D Max because now they still are able to afford a full buy instead of Sprout. I think they're also somewhat fine. I mean, only Faven down to Deagle with smoke and 2 flashes. At least I got a little, but still. This could be a chance for 3D Max to somehow get 3 points on 2 very, very close maps. Dennis, he got the LWP for a moment. Get the top towards the B side. Tried to get a nice opening kill early on. Didn't find anything, and now probably switch back to Surson. And there we go. Now let's see. Ali banana control. Walk towards middle. Maybe one pop flash for Murbit. He's trying to take mid control. He's the first one. Did he see it?
He saw him, didn't he?
I don't think so.
I really think so as well. And that's a little off. Speedo gets Haji. The barrel is peeking out, of course. Do you smell it, Cine? Because I do. This seems like another overtime might come our way. It just depends on Devil. How much he utilized. Ah,
Devil!
no. Devil! That was it with 1 and with 2! That is devastating! And the way he just stays so long, alive for so long, is just painful. And that's Faven, stepping in when needed. David P only got a shotgun and a dream. Whilst the bot moves over, the shotty is still active and ready. No, the timing. Unbelievable. Another overtime. Inferno really wants to be treated like it is. You've said it from round 1 on. An overtime heavy map.
Yeah, and there we have it. There we have it. And Surson, he was the one guy who I think finished the first half with, was it 4 or 3 kills? I think 3 kills.
Yeah.
At least, yeah. Getting
It was devastating.
Yeah. And now he's on a 2nd place. I mean, on a scoreboard, but with his frags, still 17 kills now. Being up there with some very important impact frags he had. So there's still a chance, but what a way for Sprout. I mean, imagine them losing both maps after such a nice comeback. Just falling short in overtime. Let's see, Surson, he has the top spawn. He has the 8 LVP. Where will he go? He goes towards mid. The first peek. Doesn't see Mecha. But does he continue? What is 3D Max doing? 4 people on the B side? Well, why not? It's overtime.
You're debating too much. Very obviously.
Oh, that's a very nice detail. Just 3D Max right there. I mean, it didn't pay off, but they went for a double banana take, just trying to bait out Sprout into taking banana control, but they don't fall for it.
But do they fall for that safety on the side of A? With Maka getting those 2, it might be not too brilliant for the Sprout side of things, but we're back into a 2v2. Sorry, 3 versus 3. Still man equalized, so 1-to-1 right now. They have the upper hand. They do have the upper hand, not just by a bit. They got the upper hand massively. Sprout's spirit to fight is there. Same as on Dust 2. Exactly the same.